Here with Rosie. I ain't outside yet. But we've got, it seems like, according to what we saw last night, an ongoing draconian sauroid or some kind of other alien that we didn't know. We saw about the different types of species, different types of grays. We were told by the Nordic, which probably could have been, oh, someone said in the comment, it ain't coming to me, a Nordic, what was taking place, and they said the aliens, the alien grays, were our biggest threat because they tried that on them too. And I'm kind of sitting there thinking, you know the thing about the visitor in the Pentagon or something like that? Who do you, Valiant Thor, if Valiant Thor was a Nordic or something like that, some was speculating, I think that's what they said, that Valiant Thor alerted us to what was already taking place. And when we was reading this stuff last night, you all, I'm taking Rosie out because she's so excited. When we was reading that last night, they were telling all the tactics that would be used, and it's being used. It is being used, you all. They have infiltrated every facet of government, not just United States, but everywhere else is what they've done. I'm coming out here with Rosie, honey. Come on, baby. You're a little baby, Rosie. You can come out. Come on. Her's a little girl. She's down there. She's out here. She's wiggling her little bitty tail. And she's happy, and the birds are happy. We're all happy. We just got to get moving. Grand Rising. Yeah, Friday morning. Yeah. It's my tea. Let me come over here. Cause I'm not holding. Okay, Rosie. I'm not holding the phone too well. All right. Your collar thing is twisted, but she's okay. You woke up with 3 cats up for breakfast. Aww, waiting on breakfast. Isn't that sweet, Jennifer, honey? It is, and they were so happy. Rosie, if I didn't know any better, I'm thinking you trying to get yourself back in that house. She might be, you all. She didn't get to come out yesterday morning, but my husband, when he got off of work, he walked her for around 30 minutes or 40 all around the property. And that poor little Rosie, honey, was so tired. I don't know what's going on with her thing. It looks like she wants to go in, doesn't it? Do you want to go in, Rosie, honey? You can. You don't have to come outside. You wanted to come outside. She want to sniff for something. Gina, I thought you're talking about we're under draconian invasion. Well, if the grays are part of it, because they said it'd be our biggest threat, they infiltrate. Did you know that a gray could be anywhere from 2 feet, like the small grays, and they could be robotic-like? That's what they said. They could have a ball cap on their head. And we did another video about, well, black and red were colors of one type of alien, and ball caps. But these ones were robotic. Rosie, what are you got going on down here between my leg right here? Come on, Rosie. You got to get out from there. Okay, you had Rosie wants to walk around. You love your babies. If you're just tuning in, it was really interesting. Although it was kind of long, it was a lot of reading, but there's a lot of information. That's why if people do shorter videos, then they don't have an opportunity to talk as much. Really, think about it. You do short videos, not very many people are going to be able to talk and have long, drawn-out conversations. Rosie, can we walk over here to get my tea? Because I'd like to, Rosie. Can we? Can we go get my tea over here, Rosie, honey? Yes, okay, she's going to let me do it. Let me get it, Rosie. Just put it right here. Got it. I just want to get a sip of it, Rosie. Yeah, I'm going to have it like this for a second. I have to make her leash longer. I know she wants to look at the birds. She thinks she's going to get the squirrels now. Look at them over there. She's wagging her tail. Now she wants to get the squirrels. The squirrels and the various birds out here. Well, they're not human. They're not, but that's okay. I'm trying to shrink this down, you all. Yeah. Okay, so we got it going. If you notice, at times, they don't allow many people on here because of my big mouth. Gina's got a big mouth. Gina, honey, don't you know you got a big mouth? Well, when I was little, I would see if I could stick my hand inside my mouth, my fist. I could do it. It was really hard, but I did it. Christine Mott, honey, is that you? It's so good to see you this morning, Christine Mott, honey. Yeah, good morning on the East Coast Temple from the East. Okay, you seen that. Rosie tried to go under the porch, and then they disconnected me. I think I'm going to get myself in trouble this morning already. I really do with this. Yeah. Somebody didn't want me getting on here because I'm really a bad girl. I really am a bad girl in terms of aliens and stuff like that. Exposure. Look at Rosie. Yes, that's right. Good morning in South Africa, D West Classian. Good morning. Good morning from Gina, honey, and Rosie. That's right. Jennifer, honey, I'm not going to Rumble. Okay, people told me, Gina, get off the YouTube, get off the Facebook, get off everything. They told me that back in 2019. Get off. I didn't do it. There were so many people who shut down their Facebook accounts, who got off the YouTube, and they regretted it. They did. I'm not doing anything that truly is going to get me in trouble. I'm on a mission. Okay, I am. My mission is still continuing, even though I was told it's only going to be 4 years, showing ships and stuff like that, doing whatever it was I was meant to share. I've passed that 4 years, and I did not have the exact timestamp when I saw those 3 beings that came down in a beam of light, right there in that section right there. If you haven't heard a story, it could have been, I was thinking somehow toward the end of 2018, it could have possibly went into 2019. It could have, but I can't find the timestamp. It was a small tan extraterrestrial, no taller than 3 feet, and an older lady. She was kind of short and chubby, kind of looked like me in the future, really did, because I've seen her 2 times in my dream state. And then a younger lady with long brown wavy hair, and she looked like me in my younger years. She did, because I had long brown wavy hair in my 30s. She stood right there. The young lady was right there. The 2 other individuals were right there on the corner on one of my main geopathic ley lines. That's where I took the picture of the observatories. And you know, if you were to come over here and you would do a ley reading, you would find that that area right there is an area where several ley lines cross. So I pointed my camera up here in the sky, and that's when I got the observatory pictures. You know, they have somebody from Indiana who is a social media, Facebook, whatever thing, that actually, you know, when the observatory shut down and all the thing that happened, they said only one observatory shut down, and that was that one. They said no other ones did, and it turned out that the person found pornography on a janitor's computer. You know, that's one of the main go-tos. That right there. And that, no, there was no object that went between the sun and the whatever. Let me just tell you something. Just because you have somebody do a video, some experts, what they call experts, post a story, and you want to pass that off to the truth, to the majority of the people who believe in UFOs, that don't fly with the UFO community. It don't fly. You know it don't fly. It don't fly with me. It doesn't. There are other life forms out there, and there are other types of craft in the sky other than airplanes. Okay, see, they don't fly with me. It don't. Yeah, so there's a lot of disinformation out there. A lot of, you know, that's the alien agenda. spread. Rosie, what on earth? She's got to go in. She does not want to be out here for some reason. She's gotten too wild. You're going, Rosie. I don't know what you're doing, but you got to go, honey. You got a little bitty wild baby. I'm trying to get this off of you, Rosie. What are you doing? Rosie. Okay. Okay, you're done. You're done, Rosie. Oh, that's right. That's right. Controlled opposition. And just because we controlled opposition, that should tell you right now that we are in a battle, that something is happening. There is a takeover taking place, an invasion to cover up. And the draconians or the grays or something, they're the most deadliest, and they have truly infiltrated. They started with the CIA, then they moved to NASA, they moved to all levels of the government and things like that. Yeah. Gina, are there some good aliens out there, good extraterrestrial, good beings? Yes, there are. Are there some bad ones? Yes, they are. And they're hell-bent on destroying the human race as it exists. You may say, well, Gina, no, we have been in a constant state of evolvement. Well, our consciousness, our spirit on the inside, yeah, we want to evolve. We want to grow stronger in our spirit. We really do. But, you know what I saw last night? I did. Remember we did a video a long time ago about the visitor from outer space? It was a civics class, I think it was, or ethics class. And I can't remember exactly where it was done. It was years and years and years ago. If some with the visitors, aliens from another place visited, they asked the students to participate in a, you know, thing and decide which Bill of Rights, which things within the Bill of Rights would they want to keep of however many rights we've got. They can only choose 5, and they had to gather in groups. And they had to think carefully, and they didn't have much time, they told the students. And they could even bring in experts. Well, when they were doing it, they were playing it out and stuff like that. And then they said, if you cannot choose which ones you want to keep, your new overlords, your new ruler, will choose it for you. That's what it said in that class years ago. And they said, keep in mind that your new rulers may not have the same perception of what privacy means to you at all. What you may consider private may not be considered private by your new rulers. This was a class, I did a video, aliens or visitors from space, and it was a class. And then remember the video that circulated, you all, where it showed this senator. They said, oh, he never did exist. He was reading this bill, this whatever that was, you know, they had to read before they signed. And he was talking about of otherworldly strength and whatever. And he was saying classified, 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 classified. And a new Bill of Rights, classified, underground birthing centers, and whatever else. Remember that? They said it was a fake. It doesn't matter if they wanted to call it a fake or not. It's happening. It's happening. You know what happened? This is what happened last night, because they talked about the Bill of Rights and in that civics class, there was this guy, and I can't remember the exact year. He was a transhumanist. He went and he sat on the steps of the Capitol building, and he wrote out these Bill of Rights for transhumanists, AI, synthetic life forms, other type of life forms, other type of sentient beings. And he got removed by the Capitol Police is what happened. But he left his thing pinned on the side, I think they said the north side or something of the building. And it fell off. But it didn't take long till other transhumanists joined him, and they do have a new Bill of Rights. They said how did they do it? They already wrote it up, and I forgot where they put it. But it has included other life forms like that, and even AI, and even against the threat of trying to turn it off, the sentient beings. And it gave any other type of life form even humans, the same rights. Everything that they created, they all got the same rights. Even if you felt the one was too totalitarianism, they got the same rights as you, and you couldn't open your mouth. You couldn't. And they had a right to exist, for better or worse. It's true. It's true. It's out there. And I'm sure it's, and the guy who wrote it, he even spoke at the World Economic Forum and some other places, some kind of global thing about these new, it's something quite similar to the Bill of Rights. It reminds me of like where you couldn't shut them off. And there was something else about the dangers of the dark web, how it could fall into the wrong hands. It was back in the 2000, this guy wrote a paper, this scientist, whoever he was, he wrote it. He was predicting what would happen if there was no regulations, no nothing. And then he disappeared. He disappeared. I hear you, Rosie, behind that door. He disappeared, and what's happening is happening now. It's the alien grays. It's the other malevolent beings that have come and planted themselves in all facets of society and all levels of government and agencies. They have taken control of the earth. Jenny, you sound really... They've taken control of the earth. And they can appear human, if you remember last night. Human. And we've got some shape-shifting humans. They got technology. Some of they said some of the grays, or I think that's what it was, because they're not completely human, they extend out their limbs, and their limbs are skinny, like rails. And we've seen that. I thought I seen that in Kate Middleton, Princess Kate Middleton, on the one thing yesterday. When she stuck out her arm, the live video, go look at it. Kate Middleton, stretching out her hand to a hologram. Like that. And it's not just pixelation of the camera. I think they're ready to, I really do. I'm not going to say I think. I feel they're ready to make themselves known. These other life forms, these other aliens, these other species. Oh, they want their presence known. Now's the time. They want their presence known. They don't care. They're tired of waiting. They are. They too have an agenda. The sooner they can be acknowledged and they can not wear their masks and things like that, the sooner they can take complete control and instill the fear within all the people. But Gina, it's all fake. It's all Project Bluebeam. You tell me we got some Project Bluebeam people of holograms and all of that. There's no such things as draconians or grays or anything like that walking around. It's all make-believe. No. You got Eisenhower made a deal with them. There was this guy who was out in Nevada, somewhere around that area. He went into this underground shaft area. It was like a place where things could take off. And he looked above him. He was in a level. He saw this massive UFO form above his head. And it looked so real. It was a hologram. It was so real, and it was so massive. He bent down because he thought it was going to fall on him until he realized that's a hologram. That's what he said. But it was so terrifying. See, it's going to have a real world effect regardless. Regardless. It doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't matter what's real and what's not real. What you think you see ain't real or whatever. If it's looking like that, and even though it's not real, oh, it's having an effect on us. That's always been my whole point. We are, hello, Applebrooks, honey. Susan B. Honey, are you on here? Yeah, you are. And in that video last night, it mentioned about how the aliens use the things has making people think they're the chosen ones. And there's a lot of it going on. There really is. All throughout my life, even all these churches around me and stuff, They said they were the only ones that are going up in the rapture. Only ones. Only ones. If you didn't go to that church, there's no hope for you. And it's not just this, like these particular churches. The same mindset you can find in every single city, state, every single country, all around the whole entire world. They all say they're the only ones. You can find it in communities, UFO, they say cult communities, high levels of government, everywhere. They're the only ones that are going to make it. They're the only chosen one. That is a mindset. I'm just telling the truth. That is a mindset. Only thing that I can say is, except for the sake of the elect, if you think of the biblical, no one would be saved, because those days will be cut short because of the horrificness that's on the face of the earth. That's what it said. Nobody would survive if God had not cut those days short. That's really the reference. And it does speak of 144,000, but that's from the 12 tribes of Israel. It is. And from my understanding about that, these are those who have not tainted themselves with women. That's what I think I remember, something like that. Something about they kept themselves completely pure, really. But no, all of this stuff, you all, it's been so carefully orchestrated. It's carefully orchestrated. They're not done yet. They're just getting started to ramp it up big time. But last night I was reading the Transhumanist Bill of Rights. It had humans, and they said that the old humans will not be able to procreate with the post-humans or the transhumans. They will not be able to procreate anymore. Well, I don't want to procreate with a post-human. I don't. Or a transhuman. I don't want to. I don't want to procreate with a robot, okay? I really don't. I don't, you all. I want a regular human. I want the old human, because there is going to be the old humans, and there probably is right now, the old humans. That way, if you have a transhuman, if you have a post-human, those that have not been implanted with technology, and that's what they were referring to when they say transhumanist, machine and technology, right there. They're going to control whether or not you're going to have something. It's just like these movies like Aeon Flux, when people wanted to, a great big pandemic or something happened out, and they were under a dome, and the scientists who was trying to find a cure for this thing that had happened, there was two brothers, I think. One was the good one and one was the bad one. You get it, Inky Enlil? Jesus and Satan, that's what they refer to. Two brother scientists trying to stop it. And this one good one, he had lost his wife when it first started. So he waited years and years and years, as lifetime after lifetime, waiting for her to be reborn, because she would look the same. And he kept an old photograph. He remembered the last time he saw her. But up in the sky was this, looked like a hot air balloon or something up there, where this real old man was, he had these things, tubes or something, that he took something and stuck it in there. And whenever anyone wanted a baby, they would somehow end up pregnant by the means of however they did it, and inserted that, and then that person, that soul would be reborn again as a little girl and grow up, or a little boy. But if you were caught, if they dare find out that you got pregnant by procreating, by, having a relationship with a male and a female, they came and they got the female or the male, and something happened to them, okay? Because they did not want that happening on its own. They wanted to control it, but this is recirculating lifetime after lifetime. And when the guy saw his wife, well, she had been recruited by these other controllers up there to stop what was going on. And she was on a mission to take him out, take down that whole entire system. and she would see him, and flashes of her memory would come back. But he knew her immediately because he had a black and white photo of them. And it turns out some of her memory came back, and they bust through the dome, and they take down that thing up there in the sky, and nobody has to come back over and over and over and over because they can procreate on their own. Yeah, that's how that happened. Yeah, but they had modified humans. They gave them bird feet and everything. Yeah, it's kind of like what's happening today. They modified the humans and gave them qualities like that of certain species, animals and things like that. In that movie, you don't want to procreate. Ah, draconians, yeah. The tall grays. Yeah, and if you right there, let me say this, Alexandra. Many people say this is war against the draconian, which is the USA, NATO versus the tall gray, Russia, China. It said that the Nordic had told them that if they were an invading species, here's what the invading species will do to you, and they will have you in constant war, country against country, constant. They'll have you fighting over warheads. They'll have dissension all around, divide and conquer. All the while, they continue their agenda. But they are really, I am feeling it within my being. They want their existence known completely. So if you see things start getting seeped out, you see certain mouthpieces start talking about it and nobody's shutting them down or anything like that, oh, they want the information out. Because they cannot contain it any longer, because now we are going to reach that within the 2-year period, and I think that was in 2022 or the very beginning of 2023 when one of the mouthpieces of the World Economic Forum said that in 2 years we will have a catastrophic mutating event that would strike the earth, a catastrophic mutating. And our lives, he said, just think of it as a virus. What a virus could do if it got inside of you. It could change you. It could change your way of life forever. They used a virus to describe what would happen, because they would mutate and our way of life would be no more. We've done several videos on this, but they called it a cyber event, so that would include technology also, implantable, other type of technology and things like that. But that's not all of it. It's not. We all know our world is changing drastically and really fast. And I think the days of when people, even like NASA, when they try to give their presentation with those panelists during their study time, the people were being harassed and stuff because they didn't want you talking about UFOs. See, and that's what they said they would do too. They would turn the people against their governments too. That's what it said in the thing that we read last night. The aliens, the bad ones, the bad aliens, we call them aliens because they're bad. That's why I label it alien. They would have the people turn against their governments, which, why would they turn? Because you got some bad aliens in the government. You got some lizards, some shape-shifting reptilians running the U.S. government. That's what the Atlantic said, and they said Obama was a reptilian, Mitt Romney was a reptilian, Joe Biden was a reptilian, Newt Gingrich was a reptilian, Ted Cruz was a reptilian, Donald Rumsfeld was a reptilian, Dick Cheney was a reptilian, Kutzkaniks, whoever he was a leader of the reptilians. And there were people for a long time thinking about Donald Rumsfeld, whether that he was a reptilian, and he was being interviewed. They had him on the other end asking him questions. They said, we got to know, are you a reptilian? He goes, well, the short story, he would never admit that he was a reptilian. He wouldn't. I remember him being around when my husband was still in the military. Good morning, Nierka, honey. He was a very, and I guess even out here, he was a very entertaining, was he Department of Defense person? I forget what his title was, but he was some kind of title. He had those reporters. He loved getting in front of those reporters and telling all of his stories and stuff like that. He was entertaining, but they said he was indeed a reptilian. So can you think of this? You have the invading species having the people turn against their governments and the branches of the government and facets of society. Well, that's why, because they themselves put the people, they infiltrated it. That's why. They like it. They like you to do that. can you sit back and let the reptilians, if you could see them in their real form, would you like it? Would you? I wouldn't like it. I probably will see it. You probably will see it in their true form, and they won't try to disguise it anymore. They won't. You'll probably see a lot more than that. You'll see some like Arnold Schwarzenegger thing, technology and stuff. Okay, and like the little bitty video of the bird that Nierka caught. It didn't even look like a real bird. It looked like it was a mechanical like drone, and it flew by so fast. Okay, and I read through the comments. This woman, she said there was a great big crow or something or buzzard that landed in her somewhere in her yard, and it started squawking and making a loud noise, and she felt a bad energy from it, and she went in the house. Yeah, that's right. She went in the house, and if you think of the Lord of the Rings, who was that bad wizard? Sauron the White. I guess that's his name. He sent the birds out to spy on Gandalf, and Aragorn and Frodo and them, because he wanted to stop them. He didn't want them to find whatever it was they were looking for. No, he sent the spy birds out, and they knew it, and they were hiding. I didn't read no scary movie. Rosie, oh, hello, Rosie, honey. You're a little baby up there. See, you're being a good girl. Her is. No, you're not coming back out, Rosie, because she didn't want to come out. That's why I put her back in. She didn't want to come out. But she did, but she changed her mind, just like humans. So we're under draconian. We have been invaded. That's what they came to the conclusion of. We've been invaded. That's right. Rosie's a little cat. Here's a little baby cat. And I'm sure she hears the chipmunk in there. That's right. She does. Yeah, this is wild. And I'm sure, I think I saw somebody say there is so much talk, even in the comments section. That's why it's important to come on here, do a tad bit longer videos. Even in the, Gina, will you be quiet so we can hear your birds? Yeah, I can. And you can hear the chipmunk. The chipmunk doesn't want something around. That's why it's chirping like that. So yeah, I can be quiet just for a second. I've been seeing in the comments that they have been seeing a lot of people in other places. Everyone's starting to talk or starting to come on to, there's UFOs. If the media starts putting it out there more and more, a little bit here and a little bit there, and it is increasing, then it's going to start waking the people up more and more. After years of squashing, after years of suppressing the UFOs, the other life forms, interplanetary craft, they spent all of those years suppressing the information because it wasn't time to make their existence known. That's why they suppressed it. They had the CIA suppress it completely. A lot of things are under the control of the NSA too, but it goes well beyond that too. When we lived in Fort Meade, it was right across the thing from NSA. That was a great big glassed building with mirrors all over it. Rosie, is that you in here? I can barely see your head. Okay, well, you're a baby. You can do it, Rosie. You can. You can play. Here's a little baby. Gina, your windows are dirty. Well, when the windows are really clean, when the hummingbirds come to eat, they see their reflection really good, and they run into it or the other birds. They hit their head so hard, and they fall down on the ground, and then you can see blood coming out of their heads. So that's why I don't really clean them, because they will try to fly straight through there. There's been like 4 or 5 birds that have knocked themselves in the head flying into the window. They do it on the front side and that side, and we had to take the poor birds and somewhere off under a nice cool area to where they can Yeah, so that's why. Um, so how'd you get on that, Gina? Yes, they tried, they kept it's time now for the information to come out. That's what I was saying. It's time to no longer disclose it. Yeah, the real world is beautiful. It absolutely is. And we need to make the most of this life while we can. We really do. Embrace this life, the world around us, because one day we may not be able to. You may not, you may come to the point where there's like, you're locked, you can't travel from state to state because further controls are implemented. Or you can't travel unless you have some kind of proof, you know, that you're allowed to travel because you've been that good citizen or something like that. They wanted our Eden. Yeah. Hello there, Gary. Put some sun catchers on the windows so the birds don't run into them. I don't know what a sun catcher is. I don't. If it's something that dangles, I'm sure Rosie would jump up there and pull it down. That's what she would do because she can jump pretty high. Yeah. So our world, Susan, honey, it is awful because there's some pretty, like we had some pretty bluebirds that slammed on that window and the hummingbirds. And then you pick them up and you hold them in your hand and the blood's on the bird. It's on your hand. And it's sad because you know they're in pain. So that's why I don't like to do that. Oh my gosh. I am going to be going, you all, very shortly. It's sad because you think, now there was one bird that we thought it was a goner, but somehow it survived. And there wasn't blood out of its head, but we thought it knocked it out. And then it flew away. And then, like, the birds used to get into the wood stove up there through the chimney. They would climb down through the top of the chimney. Somehow they get in the flue. They go in there. When you pull the little damper assembly out, there's the birds flying around. So you open up the door, and then the birds start flying around up there in the top part of the house on the beams, and you try to get them out. You have to open up all the windows and doors and just try to shoo them out, because or else you're going to cook them in the stove, and you don't want to do that. But I fixed that because I climbed all the way on top of the roof with a great big old rope and gear on me, and I tied it to the beam, put one side to the beam on the other side, and it would support me when I went over the A-frame of the house. As I leaned over the A-frame, I made sure it was really good and tight, so I could just lean there like somebody on a tree or a pole, and I could put a metal mesh all around the top of that so the birds couldn't get in, because that was awful. Year after year, birds getting trapped in the flue. Gina, we're talking about aliens, and you're getting off on something else. Yeah. Yeah. I hear you, Rosie, honey. You're in there. She's in there, you are. She might want to change her mind. You change your mind, Rosie? Look what she's done to the rug. She has been running all over. What you been doing? Okay. She doesn't want to go out. She just wants to look out. You want to go outside, Rosie, honey? Come on. You want to go out again? Because that's the only way you're going to get out is if you're on a leash. Let me do this. I'm going to see if she wants to go out. I'm going to give her one more chance. You want to go out, Rosie? Come on. Come on. You want to go out? Nope, she don't want to go. She wants to run free, so she's not going out. Rosie, honey, you're not going to go out, Rosie. You can, I'll just let her look out the door. Huh? Oh, my phone stuck on, my phone battery is dying. I'm just going to let Rosie look. I got to be careful because watch this. You know what she wants to do as soon as I open up the door? She wants to run out. If I stand in the way, she's trying to see if she can make her way out. There, Rosie, you can't get out. Yeah. So the draconians, the reptilians, there's different things of them. Different type of species, and you have the grays, these one type of grays that are more robotic-like. If they can make, you know, it reminds me of R2-D2. See how they showed the RTD2, and then they showed that whoever that gold one was, the robot with the arms, and then the smaller robot that rode around on wheels. That what I'm talking about. Remember they showed that? What you doing, Rosie? I think they were already here anyhow. Yeah. Something got struck by lightning, Mama Bear. Oh, you talking about the Georgia Guidestones? Everyone is leaving. Thank you for being here. We really love you and appreciate you. Love you too, Nierica, honey. Oh, C3PO, you also. I guess there is a time and place for everything that happens under the sun. There really is, and now's the time for this information to start coming out more and more. So I'm going to go, and with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, you all. I hope you have a very productive day or a relaxing day. And if you can get outside, I hope you can get outside and enjoy the outside because it's going to be really hot today. Yeah, it is. You can see we got this right here, right here, and right here. The humidity is going to be a thing. Yeah, thank you, moderators, Apple Brooks, honey, Susan B, honey, Nierica, honey. Thank you all for coming on here. Thank you all for your comments. Yes, cats are an extraterrestrial species. Now, I'm not going to procreate with my cat or my dog or anything like that. I'm not. I'm a human being in my body, and I'm not going to be machine either. I'm not. So, yeah. And those people like that, the post-humans, they won't be able to do it either unless they want them to have babies. They will be grown according to the thing they're going to choose, just like that movie Aeon Flux. They chose your baby. Have a wonderful rest of your